and welcome to yet another IJDM video. Today's video is about nothing. Well, not really. Oh, a unique laptop, which you saw the picture already, so this is no surprise. This is a big laptop, and it is not light. It resembles, to me, a 1980s, maybe, yeah, 1980s laptop that was just humongous. And what is this thing? Why is it so big? And is it really a laptop? Yes and no. There's a couple of things different about this. This is a Sony Anycast station. The number is AWS-G500. There is a ton of these listed on eBay, and unfortunately, and this is going to be my first gripe with this video, stop pulling the hard drives for these units. There's no reason for that. If you're recycling one of these, do not pull the hard drives. There's no reason for it. Just turn it on and you can delete all the files or whatever's on there and you're good to go. You do, because you're deleting the operating system, which I'm going to swing back around to that toward the end of the video. But let's just take a brief look at the outside of the unit. The latch release is here. You got a nice handle here, although I don't know if I trust these pull-out type handles. I've had them before in other types of electronics, and oh man, this thing is a heavy beast when I'm dealing with it at this angle. There's your nice view of it. Oh, nice and pretty. Yeah, that looks cool. It sits upright. It's got a little bit of scuffing on it, but it's really in excellent condition. And oh god, oh, rough. You can hear a lot of grunting on this video because this is heavy. So we got some type of cooling fan here, ventilation, and then the first drop down hatch. Something called remote, which resembles a serial, and RGB GUI, which I'm guessing shows something else up. I'm not really sure, and now that I'm looking at this and I haven't played around with this much, maybe I need to hook this up to a VGA monitor just to see, maybe I'm seeing something else going on that I'm not seeing on this. And maybe the hard drive is just for storage underneath and I can use an external one. I don't know. We can figure that out as we go along, because this is going to be a 2 or 3 part video, whether you like it or not. Hard drive light, Ethernet, and then 2 USB. Sony memory stick port, which yeah, those like kind of gum stick looking memory sticks that they had at the time, and factory use, which that kind of frightens me. Like, why would you have a port? But I know some of the earlier TVs had that. Let's swing around to the other side. What's on the other side? Well, just more ventilation. Absolutely nothing. What's on the back side? And I'm gonna try to just kind of move the camera just like that, and it's a nice little hatch that opens up, and it's got kind of a how long these things are going to last, but what we got here is your basic I call them D plugs, just something I've always called them. Depends on where you're at, they call them different things. Standard plug that uses, you know, one of these gimmicks that use on pretty much any computer of the day. A cooling fan, some type of grounding thing. I'm not sure what that's used for, maybe to reduce ground hum situation. Your audio ports, which is line, and I think those are inputs. So this would be if you're bringing in like some type of CD player or something, I'm guessing. Your mic line in, mix out, program out, and then audio out, which I'm interested if this has an internal amp, which I would love to figure out. And actually you can hook up an intercom system. Looks like a 9-pin connector, if I'm right, with my bad eyes right now. I don't have my glasses on. You got 2 XLRs that also accept the 1/4-inch jacks as well. Very cool. And that's your audio portion of this back side of this. I mean, look at all these connectors. It's insane. This guy is basically control remote cameras, like those little robotic cameras and stuff they use in meetings. Reference is to sync your video signals, because obviously if you're using analog, that was a thing back then you had to deal with. I'm not going to go into explanation of it. You got 2 RGB outs, you got a composite out and S-video out, and then you have the cards, which are interchangeable. They do have different versions of these. I won't go into it in this video, but there was other cards you could get and different options for this. And these cards simply, and I don't really have this screwed in too tight, I don't think. These cards actually come in and out much easier than you would think they would. They just slide out almost like a drawer. They're just come right out, and they're almost like little modules. So very neat on that. And these cards are just analog, straight analog, standard definition video, which would be probably around 480 for your basic BNC connection, I guess you would call them, because I'm not sure you would call them the other type of connection, SDI. So maybe SDI2 as well, BNC, I'm not really sure. These are adaptable to RCA as far as I remember back, if this is what I think it is. You can change the ohms on it for various reasons I won't get into. S-video, some type of digital connection, and then an iLink, that I'm not sure of. Somebody wants to explain it in the things and worked with one of these units, please tell me, because good lord, this thing's got a lot of inputs. And I mean, I dealt with this stuff back in the day, but I didn't really get into more of the engineering aspect until more the digital era, when we were in HDMI, and we did have we dealt with different types of cables on BNC and stuff like that. And then you got two RGB ins, which is basically your PC connection, which, not to be confused with the HDI, which they call HD15 in connection. So I'm not really sure. I'm very curious on if this card would work if you could get a higher resolution, or you do need the HD cards, which we can go into that later on. Let's just kind of put these back in, I guess. Yeah, well, maybe. Well, anyways, that's your back port, but that's the outside of the unit. The bottom is rough. I am getting my workout on this video. Cover came off. As I said, this back cover, I see why they're missing a lot, because they don't really snap on that well. And let's just raise this back up, just like that. And this is where the hard drive goes, right in here. I do have the cover off right now because and it's like a whole laptop type connection. I'm not sure if you can see in there or not. It's like a basic old 1990s early 2000s laptop type thing, before the modern type connections. But that is the outside of the unit in a nutshell. And here we go. Wow, look at all this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons, and I'm not going to explain every one of them. This portion here is basically an audio mixer to mix your different channels in and out. Very cool, and all on one laptop. And then this is where you would actually punch your video, preview, and I'm guessing this is program, where normally you would change cameras here, do that, and then it would transition to your on air. I've showed in other videos. There's obviously an auto trans, which usually does your fades, or your, probably has some transition options, and fade to black. And then there's the manual bar, which in real production I never really used that much. Monitor level, so I guess those speakers are amplified. Wow, cool. Online, which I guess if you're connected to the thing, I don't know how that works. And you can actually load media into here via, here comes the wind, and I'm sure it's making some noise on the mic right now. You can actually load actual video into this for playback during different things, and it has a jog shuttle here, which is very mechanical and feels pretty cool. And then this keyboard, and yeah, it's a chiclet kind of calculator keyboard, but it serves its purpose with the little mouse thing and stuff. But the cool thing I discovered about this keyboard is it's apparently wireless, and I guess that's the battery, and it recharges and you can get another battery. I haven't looked at that or gone into it, because I never really, I guess if somebody else is doing graphics on a different monitor, they can do the graphics part while somebody else is punching. But then you get this big thing here, I guess, to put your snacks. That's what I would do if I was something about when you're doing live production, you love the snack. I guess that's why some of us weigh a little bit more than we should. But this is some kind of, I guess, chroma key adjustment, or some kind of DVI maybe. I'm not really sure. There is a remote port, not sure what that's about. Two speakers, and then you got your nice looks like a 1280 by 720 screen. Again, I'm guessing because this is the first time I've ever seen one of these in person. And this thing is just, it is a behemoth, but it is so cool. I mean, I've never seen a laptop with this many different things on it. You're curious enough, there's a mic here. I guess that's for the ICOM. I guess there's an ICOM button somewhere in there, somewhere. And the keyboard, it totally sucks. I wonder if you can hook up an external better keyboard or do something like that. But does this unit power up? Well, I'm going to answer that question right now, and that'll be where the video kind of ends, because that's as far as I can go, because in a minute you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't know why I bought this. It looked like a good deal and I did not know what to expect. So if you know anything about the hard drive, and I'm going to try some tampering around over the next few videos, if you know anything about the hard drive, or how to get a copy of the OS, or how to make another drive for it, or make this thing actually do what it's supposed to do, then I would love to have that. Power button is on the side here. Just a little kind of button you hold down for a second, if I can find it. There it is. And let's power this on. At the same point, we'll just adjust the camera up just a little bit. Oh, and it would help if I had power to my actual power supply. That's the way we roll here on IJDM. We don't actually script or anything. We just kind of do it as it goes. It's just about hanging out, and hey, we're just hanging out at the Retro Tiki Lounge and seeing how things go. Yeah, and if you can see my reflection, I am kind of wearing. So this screen probably could be a little easier to see right now. Let's tilt this in a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. This is basically all I get. So I know the screen is good. I don't see any dead pixels or anything, just a little dust from the wind and stuff. But from what I can see, the screen's in perfect condition, actually very clear. But this is as far as I get. Sony Anycast, a nice little whatever of a mixer or whatever, and then now loading. That's it. Anybody that would like to make a comment or send me an email or whatever about these machines, let's see this working. Let's fire this up. I do have stuff I can connect to it. I do have older technology that will hook up to this that we can bring into it and play around and just see what we can do with all these buttons. I mean, these are probably the best feeling switcher buttons. Well, I shouldn't say switcher buttons, but best feeling buttons on this unit. I mean, these suck, but these are rather satisfying. They have a nice little click to them, even though they're probably like a rubber dome that just hitting on the back plate. But in this jog die, oh man, this thing's reminiscent of the old Sony VCRs back in the day and the remotes they had. Definitely very much a Sony product. Why didn't you see one of these back in the day? I'll explain it to you. These were incredibly expensive. If you wanted an SD unit and then later the HD units came out, good luck, because they were thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm not going to get into the exact amount, but they were incredibly insane on price, and you can see why. I mean, this thing is a honking unit. Why didn't they survive? Why don't they make more of these? Well, things have changed. You can use normal laptops. There's external connectors now. There's wireless technology, NDI. All this stuff has come out, so it's kind of made this all obsolete. But with the HD upgrades, this still would be a viable system for like a church situation or a place that does concerts, that, or maybe you do some inside and outside or whatever, that you can bring the actual unit outside with you. Maybe, I don't know. But I just want to see this unit working again. So kind of a little APB out there. If anybody knows or has any of the cards they would like to donate, or the hard drive, I'm not asking for a hard drive. If you had one, would love it. It'd make this video easier. And or no, maybe if I hooked up that monitor and looked at whatever it said in there and had an interesting little thing about on the side, what did it say? GUI, which you're GUI. So I'm wondering if that's the situation, or it's just another screen like this, or an expansion screen or whatever. But that is the Sony Anycast AWS-G500 Part 1. So this will only move on if I can figure out the hard drive situation and actually getting it powered up and moving. So we'll leave this one as it is for now. I do have more videos in the works. I do have a part 1, a couple multi-part episodes. Part 1 of replacing a MacBook Retina 2012 battery, which is going to be super fun, but not really. We'll see you next time. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. I do have other videos, if you don't care for this kind of thing, that I do and play around with retro tech. We'll see you next time.